committee.
Give me a second to get my tablet unlocked here. Good evening. It's evening now.
Good
Members
evening.
of the committee, Senator Rulli, Demora, and how you pronounce your name? Gavrone. Okay, I want to make sure I get it right. My name is Anthony Riley. For those who don't know me, I created an organization called Ohio Cannabis Live, which provides news and information about legal cannabis in Ohio. I'm also a patient and advocate. I was one of the first people to actually buy medical marijuana in the state's program. I stood in the cold on a cold day in January of 2019 to be able to purchase because I have a traumatic brain injury, and I learned that using medical cannabis would help me with my pain that I suffer. I suffer a lot of pain. It's really been hard for me to sit here for 3 hours. I was in the emergency room last night because I was in so much pain. So just to be here, it takes a lot. But the reason I'm here is that people have spoken. They want home grow, as the lady here just said. And, you know, this medical program has already had a lot of hurdles. It was a rough rollout. We've had a lot of controversy. We definitely need to make improvements to the medical program. I think that's important. But lowering the THC caps and making rules where patients can't smoke cannabis but rec users can, that's just going to make people want to get in their car and drive to Michigan, point blank, period. That's what they're going to do. That's already what they're saying. You know, we've lost 6,000 patients in this program, in the medical program, in the last 3 months with the newest report. We're losing people. These restrictions in House Bill, Senate Bill 86 will basically make everyone just leave the program and not even renew. We want the medical program to survive because without it, we don't really have a framework. Many others suggested that we do use some of the existing medical marijuana framework in rolling out this. So I think there's room for common ground. I think that we could work out something that everybody can agree on. But taking away home grow is like sticking everybody in the side. Because like the lady said, people want to grow their own medicine, and they believe they want to have control of what they're growing, just like they would vegetables or any other plants you can grow with seeds. And like I said, it is from the earth. I also want to make sure people understand, our medical program does not sell gummy bears. We need to stop saying that. There is no gummy bears sold in the medical marijuana program, and I know that that's a fact. I do think there's a problem with the illicit market. People are selling stuff, making their own stuff, and there's no way to get this stuff tested. We don't have public testing. Michigan does. Why don't we have that? We should have, if we're going to add things to it, we need to make sure it makes sense. We need to think about social equity. We need to think about expanding licenses. We need to think about those processors who are struggling, because there are a lot of people who do rely on those small craft products, especially because of their quality. And with the THC cap being lower, it's just going to make everybody feel like these products are not pure, and adding CBD to THC counteracts the effect of THC. So although I think using CBD is a good thing, but if it's just being added by the processor, that takes away the ability for the person to balance what works for them. Some people need a 1-to-1 ratio. Some people need a 2-to-1 ratio. So I think what I want to do here, and the most important thing, is I think you need to get more information from patients, from users, people who know this stuff, not just the people I've heard today who are basically mainly advertisers and people who are looking for money. But I think it would be nice if you could just have a virtual or a phone town hall like some of your other colleagues have done for other issues, and let people just talk and hear them out with moderation, of course. But I think that's really the answer at this point, because the people in this room can't hold all the cannabis community of Ohio. It just can't. And you can't talk to everybody at once. But there were many people who really wanted to testify and didn't know how. The process was very complicated. I literally sent my message at 2:28 because I couldn't find your email. It wasn't very easy for me to find. Your phone number, I'm glad that your staff was able to call me back, because I think that that's what people need to know, that if they call their legislators and leave a message, that they're going to get a call back. And I think it was really important that your staff called me back. And I've been trying to advocate for us to work together and not for us to work against each other. And I think that this bill is working against it. And it's going to make a lot of people upset. Plus, you got to think about people who are on cancer who use RSO oil that needs to be at least 90% THC to even work. I mean, what do you tell them if you're going to cut it down to 50%? I mean, what can we do to meet common ground? What can be done? I mean, I heard a lot of good ideas. I don't think it's realistic that you could turn on rec tomorrow or the next day. That's not realistic. So why not leave home grow alone? Because in the meantime, what are people going to do? They're going to continue to travel to other markets. okay? And they're going to take, that's not going to help Ohio. We're trying to do this the Ohio way. We already lost in football. Why do we have to lose in cannabis? Why do we have to lose in cannabis too? Why can't we win? So I think we need to work together. And I'm just telling it like it is. We lost fair and square, but we can't keep losing. Ohio needs to win. Go Bucks.
You got to wait a second.
Questions?
Yeah.
All right.
So first of all, I think you're my favorite of the whole day. You're amazing. I just want to ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
So obviously, this process is a breathing process. There's nothing been decided. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
At the end of this casserole, if an ingredient of the casserole is that all medical marijuana users in the state of Ohio, and I think it's 347,000 people have a medical marijuana card and only half are using it for a lot of reasons that we're not going to talk about after a 3-hour committee. Right. If we make an exemption on no tax for the medical marijuana user, is that an exciting thing for you?
It's nice, but it's not going to make people happy. They want.
Well, I know about the home grow, though. That wasn't the question, though.
But yeah, I think that's important that patients are not paying an extra sales tax. I think that is another.
How about
concern.
no tax?
No tax would be really nice.
Okay.
So that would be nice. So,
because I agree with you. I've been doing this for 5 years, and the medical marijuana system in Ohio, whether it's epilepsy or carpal tunnel or anxiety or migraines or chemotherapy, there's or like you with your brain injuries. Mm-hmm. And my aunt, I don't know if you heard the story before. It's necessary, and the adult uses. That's great. You know, we're doing that, but to preserve the medical purity of the last decade, I think is crucial. And I think something needs to be carved out for the 347,000 medical marijuana card holders. That has to be different than everything else for the adult users, because the adult use is something for pleasure. Yours is necessary for survival. And I meant that. I think you're my favorite of the day.
I don't get high. I medicate, sir.
God bless you.
And
Thank you,
I put
Anthony.
up 700 videos about legal cannabis in Ohio. So
you on YouTube? Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, sir. I have over
check
500
you out.
subscribers. Ohio Cannabis Live.
How do I find you on YouTube?
Ohio Cannabis Live, sir.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you for your
Thank
time. Any other questions?
Thank you. Okay, we're almost there. 2 more left. The committee now calls Bob